welcome back, and today we have an unboxing of something that I'm particularly excited about. After our new Mastech meter arrived, I was kind of surprised and kind of curious and started doing a little bit of digging, and although I didn't quite find what I was looking for, which was some kind of modular Android-powered super multimeter, what I did find and send a request out for was this fun little thing. This is the Pokit Meter, which is a portable multimeter, oscilloscope, and logger. And it ships in some retail-friendly packaging. We got a quick run through what's in the box, the Ziploc pouch, the meter itself, wire clip, a battery, some fuses, and a quick start guide. We've got all of our basic multimeter specs listed on the back, and just a run through of the things it's supposed to be capable of doing. So this is a wireless meter that's supposed to work with your Android phone or iPhone and communicate what it's seeing back in real time, or it can be left in place for longer periods as a data logger. So just a quick look through here on our specs. We've got most of the normal things that you'd anticipate seeing on a mid-range multimeter. You know, AC, DC voltage, current, resistance, polarity for diodes, continuity, temperature is a good one. And then we have an oscilloscope, which is fairly exciting, which will do AC-DC coupling, current, a spectrum analyzer, triggers, cursors, and then we've got a logger mode for some of the oscilloscope functions as well as temperature. Based on the size of the device, that's it in the package. That's all fairly impressive. Let's see, there are a couple of drawbacks, and I think a lot of these are related to its size. We're only rated to 60 volts DC. We're only rated for 42 volts as AC current, or as for AC voltage, I should say. AC and DC current measurements are limited to 2 amps. Resistance 1 to 1 million ohm, or 1 mega ohm, plus or minus 5%. Temperature range is 0 to 60 Celsius, or 32 to 140. That's much smaller than I'm used to seeing on a meter. Normally a K-type thermocouple, you can read a few hundred degrees Fahrenheit, or Celsius for that matter. But that's not bad either, considering the size of the device. So let's stop reading numbers off the box and find, well, I apparently have left my knife elsewhere. So we're going to go ahead and just use this. And we're going to go ahead and pop this open. It looks like they use one of those folding tab styles. So if I cut this real quick. There we go. That would have gone far easier if I had actually had my pocket knife. I'll have to find where I left that a little bit here. Pop it open. We get, well, that's actually, this says Ziploc pouch. This is actually a proper little zipper pouch, so that's a good step forward. We've got what appears to be an itty-bitty fuse that it says we've got 2. I assume the other one's already installed in the meter. Yep, so if I unlock the battery compartment here, which is relatively straightforward, pull that out. So what I don't see, the fuse must be Must be under the battery. If I needed to replace it. Alright, so here's our instructions. There's English. Yes, the fuse is located under the battery if you have to replace it. The first fuse comes pre-installed, and I'm just going to toss the extra fuse inside the pouch here. The battery that's being used is a 3-volt CR2032. The one that is included in the meter is from Panasonic, not some no-name manufacturer, so that's good to see. Let's go ahead and close that. So we've got a couple of little snap-on retracting leads here. Alright, so you could use these as they are, and then it comes with a couple more conventional. Well, these are not what I thought they were initially. So these are little latching connectors, so you could hook it onto a wire like this, well, like that. That's actually rather handy. I wish more conventional meters came with something like that as one of their probe types. And then if I push the button, it sucks everything back in. And these have a place in the little compartment, just like that. Alright, so let's see. I might have a battery or something around that would be a low-level DC voltage source that I could check these with. Or I guess I could plug a cable into a power bank and check that at 5 volts. Most of the stuff in here is going to be too high power or high frequency out of the gate, or not, yeah, just high power or high current in my studio. So I'll have to bring in something for testing. So let's go ahead and get the app installed. Pokit. Just app's called Pokit Meter. Alright, well that's installing. Let's go ahead and open that up. And let's see if that walks us through how to Alright, so it out of the gate was broadcasting something, so that's good. And it looks like we defaulted to DC voltage, so let's grab, I don't know if the probes are going to be long enough for this. Let's grab this power bank and a barrel jack. Yeah, and that was quick. I touched it and there it was. So I'm impressed at the responsiveness. For a Bluetooth meter, I expected some kind of delay. Apparently I'm conducting voltage across the circuit. So, big shock there. And let's test continuity. We'll grab something that I know is metal. I'm expecting this to emit a sound, which is what most continuity tests will do. Maybe I need my... So it definitely tests for continuity, but I don't get a sound. Alright, well that's disappointing. I don't suppose... Alright. Well, that's fun. So let's read temperature in my studio. It says it's 79, which I fully believe. Let's go ahead and yeah. So everything just goes around on this little carousel. You know, infinite resistance, 0 ohms on this piece of steel, which probably should have read something above 0, but so you've just got your menus here. So if I wanted to log something for 30 seconds. Alright, so if I wanted to log temperature with the data logger, so you can recalibrate the thermometer in it, which is handy if you have access to the appropriate equipment to calibrate it. Alright, so quick take. You know, I've poked at it for a few minutes here. I'm of two minds out of the gate looking at this little meter. Number one, I think it's absolutely fantastic that I have a device this size that I can use for measuring things. I mean, this is small enough that I can comfortably clamp it on my keys. Although I do wish there was a clamp on the little bags, so that's a negative there. But I can clamp it on my keys and have a multimeter with me all the time. The fact that it's not capable of reading line voltage AC here in the US is a bit of a bummer. I would have liked to have seen the AC voltage range at least be up to 220 volts. And that would cover just about all of your residential scenarios as far as voltage is concerned. Potentially, it may have been an issue with the probes being as small as they are, getting your hands that close. I don't know the details on that. But I would have liked to have seen that, if not that, at least 110 or 120 is the voltage limit. Because there are times when working with relatively small devices, you just want to know, is the socket live? Am I getting line voltage power inside this power supply? I mean, here is a good example. This is a small USB power adapter. And if it's not charging something, I've got a variety of things that I can check, including, is there voltage in the outlet? Well, this will let me check the output side of this, but not the input side. So that's understandable based on the size that it is, but a little bit of a bummer. The fact that it works with my phone and that I can record things to it, apparently I've warmed it up holding it in my hand, is good. I do wish that maybe via an external port of some sort that the temperature could be used as an external probe. Anyway, so first take, this is a fantastic little meter. it's not the only meter you'll ever need to own. There are a lot of shortcomings just on the spec sheet where it doesn't get quite big enough. But given the option between no meter and something that I can keep in my laptop case, there are tons of situations where I wish I had had something like this. Laptop charger. It's not charging the laptop. Why? Am I getting voltage out of the tip? Well, this would have told me really quick without wasting 20 minutes trying to track down where the meter is. It would have just been in my briefcase. Ambient temperature measurements are fantastic. That's one thing that I really wish our phones would do, is have some kind of ambient temperature sensor, and they don't. So that's a nice feature there. We are going to get some equipment in and test the Pocket Meter for accuracy, and we'll also compare it to the Mastech meter that I normally use. My 8229 is my normal go-to meter. Between the two, there's a gulf of difference capability-wise. My normal meter doesn't have an oscilloscope at all. That said, some of the things that I wish I could measure on an oscilloscope aren't in line with what the Pocket Meter is capable of. There have been times where I've suspected, am I getting dirty AC power? Am I getting 40 hertz instead of 60? And the fact that I can't subject this to line voltage AC means I can't quite do that. Overall, it's a fun little device, and I definitely see it as a companion to a larger meter, not necessarily a replacement to it. If you have any questions about the meter itself, or the app, did I scroll past something that you wanted to see, definitely tell me and I will try and cover that. All that said, I want to thank our patrons who help make content like this possible. If you're interested in supporting Pocketables and seeing more content like this, go ahead and check that out. There'll be a link in the description below. I want to thank Electrix for providing our opening and closing music. If you like what you heard, or if you're curious about some of the other things that he's done, definitely check out his channel. There'll be a link in the description for that as well. And beyond that, thank you for watching.